Hey guys, Non-Zero here, bringing you a post-mortem team analysis for the week 1 in the DGBA League. So I've already played this match, and I've already played the second match also in this league, but I decided it would be a cool idea to go ahead and upload my thought processes, both for my team building and for the matches themselves. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one. I'll go ahead and read out my opponent's team, which you can see at the left. It consists of Pelipper, Mega Scizor, Kingdra, Buzzwole, Magnezone, Volcanion Z, meaning that Volcanion's the mon that could potentially be earning a Z Crystal, Araquanid, Ninetales, Alolan, Celebi, Cradily, and Sableye. And this opponent's team is a pretty dominant rain mode, with Pelipper setting the rain and then Kingdra being the main rain abuser, potentially also Volcanion and Araquanid being rain abusers. And so my team doesn't have the best switch-ins to a Kingdra in the rain. Those are few and far between, to be honest. But I do have some tools in my draft that I can use to work around this rain offense. So let's go ahead and jump into the 6 mons that I decided to bring. First we have the Tapu Koko. So go ahead and take a look at his team and find me a electric immunity. Now if you can't find me an electric immunity, then I don't blame you because I couldn't find one myself, and that is why I brought this mon. A Choice Scarf Tapu Koko. Choice Scarf, because we're playing this draft league at level 100, allows me to outspeed by 1 point a max speed Swift Swim Kingdra in the rain. That mon hitting 590 and Choice Scarf Tapu Koko hitting 591. That means that if later in the game Kingdra has taken any damage whatsoever, either from a couple of rounds of rocks or from a hit from one of my mons that has priority, or any damage even from a life orb, it'll be in range of Dazzling Gleam, meaning this thing can switch in after it knocks something out and revenge kill the Kingdra. And also, I think this mon is just going to be a solid mon in this match, because mid-game it'll be able to just click Volt Switch on his team, and late game it'll be able to click Thunderbolt when everything is weakened. The rest of the moveset is pretty self-explanatory, the other move being Hidden Power Ground to hit the Magnezone. I don't really anticipate that coming into play, but it's there because really there are no other useful moves for this set. The set didn't need U-turn because, as I mentioned earlier, he doesn't have any electric immunities, meaning that I can always just click Volt Switch. Alright, for the second mon on this team, I wanted my second mon to be kind of another solid answer to rain, something that could actually take some hits in the rain. That mon is Goodra. So you might at this point be saying, Non-Zero, what are you doing? Goodra's Dragon Tape. Kingdra has Draco Meteor. How is this a rain answer? To which I just remind you how incredibly specially defensive Goodra is. So with an Assault Fist with maximum investment in HP and special defense, and with a Calm Nature, this mon is able to take a Draco Meteor, a modest max special attack Draco Meteor with choice specs in the rain from a Kingdra, only doing a maximum of 62.5%, meaning that it can actually take 2 Draco Meteors even after rocks most of the time, but without rocks 100% of the time. And I do one-shot the Kingdra back with my own Draco Meteor. The rest of the moves on here are just sort of coverage for the rest of his team. Thunderbolt hitting his water types, and Flamethrower hitting stuff like Magnezone, Celebi, Alolan Ninetales, and Buzzwole, and also Scizor. Sludge Wave is kind of a filler move. It just hits Alolan Ninetales and Celebi a bit harder. I was considering something like Earthquake, but I don't think it's worth it because Magnezone's not doing anything to this mon anyway, and it probably is not staying in versus this mon. So let's go ahead and move on to the next mon on my team. The next mon on my team that I decided to bring is Mega Gyarados. So Mega Gyarados can be a pretty decent win con in this game. I went ahead and ran Adamant Max Attack Mega Gyarados with Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Waterfall, and Bounce. The combination of those 3 moves does wonders versus this team. And here actually Mega Gyarados' Mold Breaker ability is very helpful for me because Mold Breaker allows this thing to OHKO Sturdy Magnezone, allows it to break through Water Absorbed Volcanion and through Storm Drain Cradily, not having to worry about those. So that's pretty cool, and the investment in special defense is just to be able to take most of the time a max special attack choice specs Draco from Kingdra after it's taken rocks in regular form. So after it's taken the 25% from rocks, it can most of the time take a Draco Meteor. So that'll allow it, if Kingdra really gets out of hand, just to be able to either bounce and stall out the rain turns, or just hit it for some decent damage with Earthquake. Now I was considering running Crunch over Bounce, just to hit the Kingdra a little bit harder and also to more reliably deal with the Celebi, but I ended up going with Bounce because otherwise the Buzzwole is sort of a hard stop to this thing if I've already Mega Evolved, and I can't really do much to the Buzzwole, and it can just get a Beast Boost by OHKOing me with Leech Life or Superpower, or insert basically any move that the Buzzwole is packing. For the next Mon, I decided to bring a Mon with some priority, a Mon that can hit his team very, very hard, and has just good coverage for basically all of his team. That Mon is Infernape, so you might think, okay, well, Infernape, what are you doing? This is a fire type and this is a rain team, isn't that really bad? To which I respond, well, just check out this coverage. Close Combat, Thunder Punch, and Flare Blitz against his team. Close Combat's able to deal with the likes of Cradily and Magnezone. You have Flare Blitz for stuff like Celebi, Alolan Ninetales, Scizor, and Buzzwole. And finally, you have Thunder Punch to nail his water types. Mach Punch, because Iron Fisted Mach Punch with the Fist Plate does a very solid chunk to everything on his team. If I need to pick something off, Mach Punch from Infernape's a great way to do it. So the next Mon on this team was a Mon that I had been considering that I was probably going to include in the team from the outset, and that Mon is Skarmory. Skarmory giving me a good source of hazards, running the Shed Shell because I really don't want to be trapped by Magnezone, and just running max defense because I wanted this thing to be able to take on Buzzwole, and also take on Mons like Araquanid and Scizor if I really needed to. It's able to Toxic some of the fatter Mons on his team in Cradily and Araquanid if he opts to bring those, and it's also just able to Brave Bird for solid 2-hit KO on the Buzzwole, get up Stealth Rocks, roost off some damage. Just sort of a standard Skarmory wall set that I think is hopefully going to be putting in some work on this team. If I can get rocks up, then it's going to make my life a lot easier in the late game, either with Koko or Gyarados. So my last Mon, I brought Bisharp, and so you might ask, what is this Bisharp set? Well, the idea behind this Bisharp set is I wanted an emergency check to Kingdra, so I wanted a Mon that could beat Kingdra 1v1 in rain, and I wanted a Mon, even if it's only once, so that I would be able to force Kingdra out. And the reason this set is able to do that is because with this investment, Bisharp, after a round of Stealth Rocks, is 100% living a max special attack choice specs Hydro Pump from Kingdra in the rain. So, I mean, that sounds like a crazy attack to try to live, but Assault-Vest Bisharp is able to do it. And it's able to retaliate with a knockoff into Sucker Punch, knocking out the Kingdra. The other moves, Iron Head to deal with Ninetales, because this thing also does have a very good matchup versus Ninetales if he opts to bring that, and then Psycho Cut just so I have something to hit the Buzzwole with, although I don't really anticipate ever needing to go for that. I have enough other answers to Buzzwole on this team, but it was sort of just a filler move because, well, to be honest, Bisharp doesn't really get much else that would be helpful in this matchup. So that's my team. I'm feeling pretty good about the matchup, and I will just be right back with the game itself. Hey, so we are back with round 1. My opponent deciding to bring Scizor, Pelipper, Kingdra, Magnezone, Cradily, and Buzzwole. So turn 1, I'm just going to lead off with my Tapu Koko on whatever he chooses to lead off with. He goes ahead and leads us off with his Cradily, probably set up rock, so I go ahead and Volt Switch into my Skarmory to trade rocks with him. No reason not to. So I go for Stealth Rock here. I don't have to worry about the incoming Magnezone because I do pack the Shed Shell. Go for my Stealth Rocks, and I go ahead and switch into my Goodra here to take the Electric type attack. I can play a little less conservatively with my Goodra because I do have the Bisharp to answer his Kingdra if it does get out of hand. So he switches into his Pelipper to set up the rain, likely a Damp Rock Pelipper here, as he does just stay in to sack off the Pelipper to my Thunderbolt, likely just to get a free switch into the Kingdra. So at this point, at this level of health, my Goodra does not get knocked out by a max roll, a modest special attack Draco Meteor, unless he gets a critical hit. And a crit with Life Orb Kingdra would also have a small chance to KO Goodra from this range. But the thing is, if either of those happen, if Specs Draco crits and knocks me out at this point, then I can just switch into my Coco, and if Life Orb Draco Meteor knocks me out at this point, then the Life Orb recoil will take him into 100% Dazzling Gleam range, so I can just switch into my Coco at that point. Anyways, because I do outspeed him, even under the rain. Anyway, so he does opt to go for the Draco Meteor, and because Goodra is a beast, it tanks that pretty well, and I'm able to knock him out with the Draco Meteor. Now his Scizor comes in here, and because it's in the rain, I can't really do much to this thing with the -2 special attack. Like my Flamethrower, I don't even know if it's 2 KO, probably it's not. Which is why here I decide to go ahead and switch into my Gyarados, which can take this thing on fairly reliably in regular form. So Gyarados at this point can put in a lot of work versus this team if I'm able to get off a few Dragon Dances, so I do go ahead and go for a Dragon Dance here, as he goes for the Superpower. Now at -1 defense, I 100% knock this thing out with the Waterfall, so I go for it, keeping regular form. Now at this point, I'm not sure, maybe I should have just went ahead and Mega Evolved and clicked Waterfall. I kind of wanted to stay in regular form just for the Buzzwole, but as it turns out, I end up having to Mega Evolve here in order to hit the Cradily. So I go ahead and Mega Evolve, and Waterfall is going to be a knockout on this Cradily, +1 in the rain. His own rain is now really contributing towards my Mega Gyarados sweep. As his Scizor does come out, I think maybe the play for my opponent here would be to go into Buzzwole and hope for the bounce miss, because Bullet Punch at this range is not going to knock out my Gyarados, but he does go for the Bullet Punch. Maybe a Bullet Punch like Max Roll crit could have knocked out the Gyarados. I'm not sure about that. But anyways, his Magnezone does come in, and Earthquake is going to be able to take this thing out. That crit didn't matter because +1 Earthquake does enough. And his Buzzwole comes out, so at this point I could go for the bounce and try to get a 6-0, but I didn't think that that was the best play. Because if bounce misses and he gets up a sub and gets up a bulk up, then suddenly this thing becomes very, very scary for my team. So I decided that the best play in this scenario, the safest play, would just be to get off some Waterfall damage, put him in range of my Skarmory's Brave Bird or my Tapu Koko's Dazzling Gleam, and then be able to just finish him off with one of those. That way if he subs, then I can just keep spamming Waterfall and breaking his subs, and I don't get reverse swept by, you know, a Beast Boost Buzzwole. So that's why here I went for the Waterfall, and it doesn't flinch him. So he just goes for the Leech Life, taking out my Gyarados, and I'm able to come in with now the, I believe I send out the Skarmory, and Skarmory is able to tank a +1 Thunder Punch pretty well because it is max defense, and knock the Buzzwole back out with Brave Bird. That is going to be a good game. So Mega Gyarados putting in a lot of work this game, and also Goodra doing what it needed to do, getting rid of the Kingdra. So overall, I was pretty content with how I played this game. I'm thinking that it might have been a better idea to conserve my Goodra a bit more than I did. Maybe the Thunderbolt play on the Pelipper was actually sort of a misplay, because if he had switched out his Pelipper and preserved it for later, then it might have been an issue if he was able to set up rain multiple times. But overall, I think I'm content with how I played that match. Racking up a nice 5-0 win, and starting off this league with a 1-0 with this team. So that's all for today, guys. I'll go ahead and see you with the Week 2 matchup that's also going to be post-narrated tomorrow. And then hopefully for future weeks, at least for the team builder, I can record that before the actual match happens. So you'll get a little bit more genuine insight as to what my pre-match thoughts were. Anyways, see you guys later, and peace.